Alright, I'll be completely honest with you. This video was going to be talking about the delay of Season 1 content, the financial call and what EA has said, and the potential future of this game. And to a degree, it's still about that, but man, what a tough time to be a Battlefield fan. We just got given an absolute slap in the face, didn't we? We got stabbed in the gut. We went to DICE Stockholm and EA Gothenburg. We just got stabbed. EA has basically admitted that 2042 is a financial failure and that it has no real faith in the game or in the series anymore. They have no faith that the series is going to be profitable anymore. So, by all intents and purposes, as soon as year one support for the game is over, that's it for Battlefield. Not just for 2042, but the entirety of Battlefield. Until another company picks it up and rebrands it or reboots it, I guess, in 10 years. But it's just... I didn't want it to be like this, you know? I don't think anyone wanted it to be like this, but the further and further down the road we go, and the further they just say, well, we're gonna fix the game, improvements are in the works, improvements are coming, and the less improvements actually work, and the less improvements are actually tested, and actually the game keeps shipping with broken stuff, it's just not gonna live to see Season 1. The game can barely break 5,000 players on Steam on a good day anymore. It's just such a sad time. And I've tried to record this multiple times, and previously I just kept getting mad that this is the state of the game that no one expected, really. Of course, some people went into this game saying, well, Battlefield 1 had a bad launch, Battlefield 5 didn't have a great launch, 2042 is probably going to be in the same boat, but this is just completely inexcusable. Every single lesson they could have learned from previous games just has not been implemented whatsoever. Like, come on. Do you really expect us to believe that this game is going to be content ready in the next couple of months? You still haven't told us that you've made any progress on the performance side of things. There's no talk about any kind of new features that would be great. And I'm not just talking about voice communication or a scoreboard, but I mean a server browser. I mean actual communication. I mean actual fun gameplay. It's just not... You can't just say that these changes are coming. The changes need to be here. How many times have you heard that this game should have been delayed by another year? And at no point has it been more apparent than right now. At no point does a delay for a huge game like this become more apparent than now. And one of the things that was said is that working from home to try and develop a game like this is tough, and that it had a bigger impact on the game than we really thought it would. And I'm sorry, I gotta call you out on that absolute horseshit right there. That is bogus. How can you say that you didn't expect working from home to have such a big impact on one of your biggest franchises? And not only that, working from home shouldn't be an excuse, but it's been used as an excuse a few times now, especially for big games. If working from home is hurting your product in such a dire way like this, delay the damn product. Stop marketing the game to be this all-out success, and just be honest. Hey guys, listen. So, what with the whole pandemic thing, we decided to delay the game because right now we cannot make the product that we want to release to you, our loyal customers. See, how hard was that? And I guarantee you that everyone would have been supportive of that decision. Especially if you showed them the state the game was in when you made that announcement. If you showed them a clip from any 2042 game and highlighted all of the issues you could find in a 5-minute clip, I'm pretty sure everyone would have been completely fine. It's understandable. Video game development isn't easy. Video game development is a task that takes a long process. It takes a long time. And you still try to push it out after 15 months of development. After 15 months of you basically turning around and saying, what the community wants, don't do that. Follow what is popular. Warzone is popular right now. We should probably do Hazard Zone. Apex is popular right now. EA's product is popular right now. We should have a movement system like it. Oh, what is this? Halo is popular right now. Let's just add in Halo. And it's just so... This game is so disconnected from the reality that Battlefield really sets itself in. And I'm not talking about Battlefield being ultra realistic all of the time. At least it takes itself seriously enough to be a game that you can play for hours at a time and still feel immersed in the absolute mess of a round, in the absolute chaos of a fight, in the absolute tragedy of what is going on around you. And I use that phrase because how many times in other Battlefield games have you been in one of the most tense gunfights of your life in a video game, all for it to come crashing down because of some unforeseen event or unforeseen variable? And you just sit there going, wow, how disappointing that we didn't win that. But oh my god, was that a great experience. I cannot believe I got that immersed in a moment in a video game. I'm on the edge of my seat, bro. Nothing like that ever happens in 2042, and it shows. People still talk about Battlefield 1 to this day. Battlefield 1 was on the verge of dying, and I wanted to make a video saying it doesn't deserve to die. It's one of the best video games ever in terms of multiplayer. Yeah, it has its issues, but you're rarely ever going to find an experience like Battlefield 1. And lo and behold, because of the launch of 2042, I no longer need to make a video like that. The game is flourishing again. So is Battlefield 5, which has its own issues, but it's still a really, really fun game to play. It still gives you those Battlefield moments while still being its own thing. It might not be World War II to a historical degree, but at least it's something that is based on its source material. 2042 is just based on absolutely nothing, and it's flailing its arms, trying to figure out what it is. The tone you've set up for the game is complete trash, and it shows. The actual specialist design was never fully properly tested in any capacity, and it shows. I don't doubt that some people really wanted to make this game and wanted to make this game better, but at some point down the line, there was a massive miscommunication between the higher-ups and the developers and the testers. So, yeah, Battlefield might not be one of the most profitable series you own at this point in time, but what's stopping you from really putting everything down to make it a very profitable series you own? Again, are you forgetting about the triumph of Battlefield 3 and 1, or the eventual success of Battlefield 4? Are you forgetting about games like Bad Company 2? What about the success of your first few games, where people just looked at it and went, this is good, I would play more of this, and they did? How are you forgetting all the lessons you've learned over 20 years and just still releasing a game like this? And some people have, been in my comments section already, well, you should have seen this coming, this is obvious, this is EA, they always do stuff like this. It doesn't matter. That's irrelevant to the discussion. Because everyone has a different experience with a video game developer or a publisher. EA has never let me down personally on a level like this before in my video game career. And so for me, it is devastating. For me, it is a really big disappointment. And for others, it's not. And that's fair enough. But still, for me, it is an absolute travesty. For me, I never thought that I would ever hear something like that. I never thought that I would be told that my community is super toxic, or that my community has a brutal expectation for a finished product, for a full game. I believed in 2042. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I believed in the game, but at this point, I'm ready to just bury it. I don't even know if I want to play it again. regardless of what updates are coming out, I just feel empty and hollow every time I boot this game up. It doesn't matter that I have things accomplished. It doesn't matter that I hit rank 100 or that I have things mastered. It just doesn't matter. The game is going to be dead before that Season 1 content arrives, and I said that last time without really knowing player numbers. But now I know player numbers that are like relatively accurate based on every platform. And I still say that it's going to be dead before that Season 1 content actually arrives. And I don't want to sit here again for another half an hour. I just wanted to get across the point that I'm just so disheartened with a lot of what's going on, especially in this game, and especially with gaming in general. And honestly, you know, I've learned my lesson. I'm not falling for a video game trailer like that again. But at the end of the day, there was just no reason why this game should have been as bad. I know some people had their doubts, and that's on them. You know, they were right in the end. Good for you. But for me, I struggle to wrap my head around it. The fact is that following trends needs to stop. Marketing needs to be less bombastic and more honest. Publishers need to be more open. Developers need to have more communication about what they're doing and how they're achieving it. And it's not just Battlefield, it's other franchises. Call of Duty is having its own issues right now. But hey, at least Fortnite's still popping off. Great. When a kid's game is having more success than these mature, quote-unquote, games, that's it. It's the end of the industry. Something needs to happen. A revolution of gaming again. I'm getting ET for the Atari flashbacks, bro. Gaming market is going to be crippled for another decade until we get Nintendo 2 saving us. Gaming has come across as such a profitable and successful market, but there's somehow just crumbled since 2019. And sure, it was showing signs of strain before then, but whatever. This game really puts things into perspective. Game companies aren't afraid to put out products like this because at the end of the day, they don't need to care. Gaming isn't about putting most of your profits on the line to make a better game anymore. Gaming is about what can you push out that is currently on a popular trend, and how can you make it bland, or how can you make it a little bit better than most. And 2042 is just an example of how you can copy multiple games and still make a bland title. So yeah, it's our fault. We have brutal expectations. The game company that, you know, publishes the game just thinks it's not like a profitable thing to do anymore, so we're probably never going to see Battlefield again. That's our fault. You know, clearly we should have had, you know, reasonable expectations, because a game that was claimed to have been years in the making and way ahead of schedule multiple times, clearly nothing could go wrong with statements like that, especially seeing as this game was going to be what people wanted it to be after the relative success but mediocrity of Battlefield 5. You've just completely ruined faith in yourselves. The games are not the issue. You're the issue. The companies behind it are the issue. But I'm just glad that finally there's been a big surge in consumers realizing they hold a lot of power. And unfortunately, holding that power means, you know, maybe we gotta wave goodbye to one of the best franchises in gaming history. But if that's the sacrifice it takes to make companies realize that we're just not playing around anymore, we want good, finished games on release that have tone and tension and meaningful rewards, I'm willing to say goodbye to Battlefield, or any future release of Battlefield. I'm willing to do that, because I don't want another release like this. I don't even know if I want this game at all. I don't care what updates come out for it. I don't care what changes they make. I just don't know if I want to play it. I just don't know if I want this. It's just kind of heartbreaking, really, to say it out loud. And I was gonna be mad. I was mad for a long time trying to record this. But at the end of the day, being mad isn't going to solve anything. And to be honest, I don't even think critiquing it or making suggestions is going to improve anything. It's just going to be a case of they'll do whatever they want, and 90% chance that this game is going to be cut for support after the first year is done. It's such a shame. It is really such a shame. But on the positive side, at least there's other stuff to play. At least there's other stuff made by companies that give a damn. At least there are games that release finished, right? At least the entire market isn't complete shit. It's just these big major titans of industry. They need to sort their act out. And it needs to change soon. Otherwise, you're gonna cripple the entire market. And I don't want to sound exaggerative or doomer, but that's just the way that it feels. That's the way that it sounds like it's gonna be. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Like they're never gonna listen to me. I would say what I want to say. They're never gonna listen to me make these kind of comments. They'll just ignore it because at the end of the day, I'm just being toxic. I'm being toxic as hell because I dared to say this game isn't good. I'm being toxic because I wanted a game to be finished. I'm being toxic because I wanted a game to be really polished and really great upon release. I believed in it, but I was just being toxic. I had brutal expectations, bro. Bro, you remember when we said we wanted a score, but bro, that was so brutal. That was so brutal. But that's kind of the point I wanted to make. EA is just kind of done with Battlefield, and to be honest, so am I. With that being said, I don't really have any more to say on the subject, really. I'm just disheartened as all hell. I don't really have an outro for this video, but if you've made it to the end, leave in the comments what you think. I would love to hear again what you guys think, because you had a lot of different insights, and I took a lot of your advice last time, so do it again. Leave a like, subscribe if you wanna, I guess, Thank you for all the recent support again. I didn't really think I'd be seeing triple-digit views for a good long time, so once again, thank you. My name's been South Moon, and this is an absolute disappointment. See you guys later.